Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Thursday, the 12th of October, comes to you from London. We start, as always, by looking at the dollar. The dollar index just continuing to fall on the short-term chart here. So we're just seeing a little bit of a pullback after quite a good month for the dollar. So we are still bearish on all three time frames. The dollar is just looking a little bit bearish at the moment, and the euro continuing to strengthen in reverse. So we're seeing that dollar weakness, euro strength, and that's showing up in the euro dollar chart. So euro looking bullish still. Japanese yen, the dollar is falling away here, although it has made these long-term transitions. So whilst the dollar is looking weak, the yen potentially medium and long term is looking even weaker still. Sterling has recovered somewhat against the dollar. We're sitting at the 132 level, so that's looking better than it has been, but we are still bearish on the long-term chart. And if we look at the euro sterling chart, we see that sterling is still bearish in the short term against the euro. In fact, bearish on all three time frames. No clear downside targets on the short-term chart, but we still do have this 11% downside on the medium term. Swiss franc, we're seeing sterling just looking a little bit stronger, and against the Australian dollar, just struggling a little bit here. Aussie dollar strength is just pushing sterling back below the 169 level. The US market, the S&P 500, holding the 2550 level, 2555 at the moment. Nasdaq also looking quite strong, just nudging higher, and the Dow Jones holding its gains too. And the Russell 2000 pausing for breadth at the moment. We're seeing that in the short-term chart. Last week it's just been going sideways, but we have had an amazing run on the top 2,000 US companies. S&P future is down very slightly, 0.16% down, and the Nasdaq E-mini down just 0.1%. So we are just seeing potential for the market to open a little bit weaker today. FTSE 100 is barely unchanged this morning. We're still bullish above all three time frames, but struggling to make new highs. The FTSE 250 is making new highs and looking quite a lot better and climbing a bit higher this morning. So that's the sweet spot. It's the mid caps in the UK. The DAX is sideways at the moment. The Nikkei 225 is heading higher on that weaker yen, and the Hang Seng is also still holding its strength. Shanghai, we are seeing, is higher at the moment and still holding above the cloud. And the Sensex continues its recovery, so the Indian market looking a bit better. Australian market is up, starting to look a little bit more lively than it has for a long time. But of course, we have had this whole sort of year. We see it here in the daily chart, just several months of going sideways. So it's a bit early to get excited. We are seeing upside targets, and these downside targets are being negated. So the Aussie market is starting to look a little bit better. Brent crude holding its bullish trend short term. And WTI still holding above the $50 level, but it's generally flat. If we look at the oil price for the last year or so, it really has hovered around this $50 level, and it's fairly directionless. US Natgas again struggling in the 290s. Copper is running a little bit higher, so we are seeing that recovery and pushing for new highs here. So quite a recovery, looking set for another run on the copper price. Heating oil just holding on to its bullish trend. Coffee is looking a little bit more bearish short term, and we're just coming back below the cloud. And we're seeing cocoa actually looking better. Cotton just holding ground there. Sugar we're seeing is just bullish short term, but the medium and long term charts. Most softs looking pretty bearish. Wheat's looking bearish. Soybeans just struggling a little bit here, looking bearish as well. Corn definitely bearish below the clouds. And then that takes us into gold. Gold is now a bright spot, looking much better. Moving to higher levels here, so we are just seeing gold managing to look stronger for the first time in a while, and looking like we're going to get back above this $1,300 level. Silver also looking bullish, so that's looking also quite good. Taking a look at US Treasury yields, sitting at 2.33%, just coming off a bit. They were as high as 2.4, so we're just a bit bearish short term there. Apple looking strong still in its recovery. Google looking very strong, pushing for new highs here, and Amazon also now recovering quite strongly as well. Facebook still stuck in these low 170s, but still looking bullish with lots of upside targets. And Microsoft looking very strong as well. If you look at the trend for the last year, Microsoft has done very, very well. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.